Torah Guardian, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.
Shalom, 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 Yasharol and Yahudah. Grafted in Gentiles into the body of Hamashiach. Listen, we are at this again. Crying loud and sparing not, lifting up our voice like a trump in Zion. Obeying Yahuah's word, declaring what he has called me to say. Listening to none other than the prophet of Yahuah, Alua, Hezekiah, songs entitled Freedom's Win 4.5. I don't own the rights to this music. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. You must be born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh. Understand, you must come under the renewed Pecach of Yahusha HaMashiach. You must be born again. Abba Yahuwah, in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, I thank you for you have declared that I would receive power. After that, the Ruach HaKodesh should come upon me, power to be witnesses. Yahuwah, I give you praise right now that the Ruach HaKodesh is in my belly, for you declared, from my belly shall flow rivers of living water. This you spake of the Ruach HaKodesh. Abba Yahuwah, I thank you for you have given exceeding power unto me. And in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, along with that power comes keys. Yes, Yahuwah, I praise you right now. Take the reins of my lips and the reins of my tongue and rein. Abba Yahuwah, may I not cause anyone to stumble, anyone to be turned out of the way, anyone to come up lame. Abba Yahuwah, I pray right now in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach that the word that you have given me to give to them, they would receive it in Emunah. Abba, I realize this word is not for everybody, it's just for those that you have chosen to receive it. So I take authority in the arrests over spiritual wickedness, distractions, ruachs, evil that have set themselves up, that have taken dominion and has affected the consciousness of those that you have chosen. I pray in the name of Yahusha Mashiach by exercising this authority that you've given me over devils and demons. I bind you in the name of Yahusha Mashiach and I make you subject. I loose the liberty of the word of Yahuwah in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, declaring that no weapon turned against us prospers. Declaring that no weapon turned against us prospers. Declaring that no weapon turned against them prospers. Abba Yahuwah, let your word go forth freely in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. Abba, I praise you. I exalt you for Yahusha HaMashiach, our kinsman redeemer. He who has purchased our Yeshua. He who has become our Pecach. Yahuwah, I give you praise right now in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. I give you praise in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. I give you praise in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. I give you praise in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. Abba Yahuwah, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuwah, my strength and my redeemer. Hallelujah. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, listen. We have received that which we have received of Yahuwah. We are offering up to you. Listen, this word of Yahuwah is meant for those who he has chosen to have an ear to hear. This word that is spoken to those who have an ear to hear. Listen, some of y'all will not receive this because you don't have the ear to hear. You can receive the ear to hear if you open up yourself to Yahuwah's Ruach HaKodesh's witness, being born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh, right? But if you don't, then I don't expect you to understand this. I don't expect you to understand this witness. But listen. All you need is just this emunah. All you need is emunah. Just you need a little emunah. That's why I just pray that Yahuwah would continue to cause me to declare his word to his people, right? To those that he has chosen. His people are those that he has chosen, right? Everybody ain't going to receive this word. Everybody's not going to receive this Torah. Listen. Some of us have come through Pecach and gone through unleavened bread. Some of us have yet to go into Pecach and to go in unleavened bread, right? Right. The idea is as often as you do it in this witness, as often as ye do this in this witness. Yahusha has transitioned us, right, from a Pecach experience, right, that we seldom kept, right, because our hearts was diabolical and wicked. He transitioned us to a Pecach that could now be kept, right, anytime, any day, as long as we do it in remembrance of his sacrifice. It's going to be hard for some of you. It's going to be hard for some of you. But listen, hear ye the word of Yahuwah. Yahusha understood, right? This word made flesh. This Torah that was there from the beginning up until the time that he appeared, until the time that he returns to eternity. He understood. See, we the people of you, we get caught up in signs. We get caught up in symbolic stuff. It often becomes ritualistic. We do it because it's what we are supposed to do ritualistically. But in reality, it's achievable. When the conditions of the heart are right. Otherwise, it's just ritualistic. Right. Ritualistic. See, there is no Pecach where there's no atonement. There is no Pecach where there is no atonement. Your fathers in Mitzrayim performed the Pecach that provided protection from a death angel that went forth into the land of Mitzrayim, that was to target a specific people who would not obey what Yahuwah had requested. It was that innocent lamb's blood that Yahuwah saw when it was placed on the doorpost. It was that innocent lamb, that 1-year-old male lamb's blood that he saw. He recognized the sacrifice of that lamb, that innocent lamb without spot or blemishes blood on the doorpost. And then he gave instructions for them to eat unleavened bread. He made sure that they cleared themselves in their houses of leaven. See. The physical removal of the leaven had nothing to do with their hearts. The physical removal of leaven had nothing to do with the heart. The physical removal of leaven was just a way of showing them what was going to come, what they needed to understand. Here's the irony, right? Our people didn't consistently keep Pesach. Why would our people not consistently keep something, right, that Yahuwah had instituted when he brought them out of Mitzrayim, and it's a part of our history and our culture? Why wouldn't they continue in it? Because see, this type of leaven, this lamb that was slain, could not change the condition of their heart. It could not alter their heart. Listen, you take this lamb. Year-old male. Lamb or goat. Year-old. Without spot or blemish. No deformities or abnormalities. Can't be sickly. On the 10th day, I want you to pull them from out. The rest of them. And go watch them for 3 days. And on the 4th day, 14th day, I'm going to offer them up. It's a sacrifice. That's atonement. No. That was the first time. And the last time that our fathers were able to offer sacrifices on their own. Yahuwah instituted this order of operation through the priesthood. Everyone had to come with a lamb. And there had to be a lot of sacrifices. You gotta understand that there was only one person. There was only a high priest that had the right to take the blood and to offer up an innocent sacrifice. See, because Yahusha was the fulfillment of that Pecach. He was the completion. The Pecach, yes, I'm not suggesting that we don't observe Pecach, but to observe Pecach absent of the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach is just like you offering up Pecach at your discretion, at your will, when you can remember it as your father's. Pecach. Yahuwah gave instructions. They had to be followed. They had to consume this lamb, his innards, and his legs, I think, were removed and burned. That lamb was to be consumed, and none of it was to remain to the morning. None of it was to be remained. Because you know that lamb, right? It's taken out the 10th day. 10th day. offered up. And our people who received the witness of Moshe, that offered this lamb, that put the blood on the doorpost. Emimuna were saved from the death angel. They were saved from the hands of Yahuwah's judgment. Had nothing to do with their hearts. Their hearts were wicked. So much so that when they got out of Mitzrayim, they murmured and complained. They got to the mountain and Moshe was gone 40 days and they decided they wanted to revert to the Els of Mitzrayim. They wanted to have Aaron build them a calf and then offer up sacrifices unto this calf and then parade around and party and get naked and commit fornication. See that Pecach? Didn't produce an everlasting change. Yes, we need to remember Mitzrayim. But there's going to come a day when, in Scripture, it says, they're not going to say anymore, this is the Lord that delivered the children of Israel out of Mitzrayim. Because it is in the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach that the captives are set free. See, you got to understand this. This original has been ratified with the renewed. See, and just by virtue of the nature of the sacrifice, of the nature of the priesthood, of the nature of the tabernacle, and what Yahusha meant in that all, the fact by virtue he satisfied everything. Josiah. 2 Kings 22:1. And Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign in Jerusalem. Right? Josiah. Right? Josiah was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. He was the 16th king to sit on the seat of David after Shlomo. He was 8 years old when he began to reign. Right? And he reigned 31 years in Jerusalem. 16th king reigned for 30 years. Now there was such a diabolical wickedness in the kings of Israel. Jerusalem, it was all set up and set forth because Shlomo failed. He started running well, but he got hindered. He got lifted up. He started marrying these foreign women just treaty's sake. Marrying these women and producing children from these women, and they were pagans, and just for treaty's sake. Some of them he liked, he wanted, right? But with them came their elves. King Josiah from Shlomo. He was 8 years old when he began to reign. He reigned for 30 years. Now this is what the summation in the second verse adds to his kingdom. And he did right in the sight of Yahuwah. And he walked in all the ways of Dawid, his father. And he turned not aside to the right or to the left. It had to come all the way from Josiah. And he reigned when he was 30 years old. He reigned when he was 8 to the time he was 30. Talking about the eternal, renewed peace. See, because, if the truth be told, Yahuwah took away our feast days. Yeah. Told the prophet says, Yahuwah says, I'm going to take away your feast days. Right? I'm going to take them away. There you go. Take away your Shabbats. Your Shabbos. Because it's the diabolical nature of your same consciousness constantly prohibits you from doing what is right. I have to bring this to a place where I can introduce to you a Pecach lamb that is going to be in your remembrance, and it's going to establish the condition of your heart. See, this Pecach, you could live with it or without it. Not because Yahuwah didn't care, but because you didn't care. And if the truth be told, this original Pecach has undergone a transformation. See, because this new Pecach, right, represents a renewed outlook. It gives you understanding of what it means to keep Yahuah's Torah. Your heart is changed. There's surgery done. You receive a new heart. See, but in the original Pecach, there were symbols and types. Symbols and types. Unleavened bread is a symbol and type. causes the dough to rise had to be removed out of the house. The bread that has been baked with yeast, leaven has to be put out the house. Right? Because Yahuwah is saying to you, he has zero tolerance for sin. It has to be put out. Yahuwah knew that these people were going to be who they were, because listen, Yahuwah declares the end at the beginning. Yahuwah already knows what the outcome is. He already knew how this thing was going to end because he was there. The 16th king, Josiah, after Shlomo, before him was Rehoboam, from Shlomo, Rehoboam, Adayahu, Asa, Jehoshaphat, Jehoram, Ahaziah, Athaliah, Joash, Amaziah, Azariah, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah, Manasseh, Ammon, and Josiah. Right? Kings. Right? Now, Yahuwah said, in Numbers 9:1, and Yahuwah spake unto Moshe in the wilderness of Sinai, in the first month of the second year after they were come out of the land of Mitzrayim, saying, let the children of Yasharah also keep the Passover at his appointed season. For in the 14th day of the month at evening ye shall keep it in its appointed season, according to all the rites of it, and according to all the ceremonies thereof shall ye keep it. And Moshe spake unto the children of Yasharah that they should keep the Passover. And they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month at the evening in the wilderness of Sinai, according to all that Yahuwah commanded Moshe to do. And Moshe, so did the children of Israel do. Right? And then it goes to talk about how, there was a certain man that defiled himself by taking, and some other amendments or things that were allowed, right? Because of conditions that were pretty much beyond certain people's control. Right? It was something that was to be done. It was something to be done throughout our generations. We were ordered to keep the peace on. First month of the year, the 10th day of that month, you pull the lamb apart. The lamb, pull it apart. Year-old male. Right? And on the 14th day, you peace out. But what we have here is we have this young king, right? Right? A young king that gets a revelation. And it came to pass in that 22nd chapter of 2 Kings, that third verse. And it came to pass in the 18th year of King Josiah that the king sent Shaphan, the son of Azaliah, right? The son of MELEKIYM, the scribe, to the house of Yahuwah, saying, go up to Chilqiyahu, the high priest. Go to the high priest. The instructors of Torah, the keepers of the service of you, that he may sum the silver which is brought into the house of Yahuwah, which the keepers of the door have gathered of the people. Right? Go take care of this business of money. Right? And let them deliver it into the hands of the doers of the work, because there was some work to be done, right? And have the oversight of the house of Yahuwah, and let them give it to the doers of the work which is in the house of Yahuwah, to repair the breach of the house, to take care of the crack in the house, the breach. Let's do this. That's Strong's Concordance. This just so that we understand. So, the breach.
Strong's H 919. Bedek.
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 Bedek. It's infusure. The breach, the leak in a building. Right? 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 So, the breach is what was found that needed to be repaired in the house, right? So, he says, unto the carpenters and builders and masons, and to buy timber, right? And hew stone to repair the house. Howbeit, there was no reckoning made with them of the money that was delivered into their hands, because they dealt faithfully. Which means we weren't worried about what they was going to do with the money, because they was faithful. Right? We ain't worried about they was going to skim some off the top, and they was going to cut corners just to make a profit for themselves. Right? He says, but listen. And Chilqiyahu, the high priest, said unto Shaphan, the scribe, I have found the book of the Torah. He found the book of the Torah. The scribe. Chilqiyahu, the high priest, said unto Shaphan the scribe, I have found the book of the Torah. High priest found the book. Listen, our people. How you the high priest finding the book? You the high priest, you study the book. Your service is the book. Your responsibility is to bring the Torah to people. What's you find in the book? Right? Found the book of the Torah in the house of Yahuwah. And Chilqiyahu gave the book to Shaphan, and he read it. And Shaphan the scribe came to the king and brought the king word again and said, thy servant have gathered the money that was found in the house, and have delivered it into the hands of them that do work, that had the oversight of the house of Yahuwah. And Shaphan the scribe shewed the king, saying, Chilqiyahu the priest hath delivered to me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. And it came to pass when the kings had heard the word of the book of the Torah, that he rent his clothes. So you have this king, right? This king who has now, right? I think it's about 18 years. 18 year of the king, Josiah. So he was 8, so he's 26 years old. 26-year-old king now. And the priest found the Torah in the house of Yahuwah. Listen. That's why Yahuwah had to bring a peace sucker that was renewing it all. See, because in Yahuwah, those who are going to honor his peace are those who's going to honor his word. And the only way to bring you to that place where you will honor his word is that if he gives you a new heart. And the only way to get to the new heart is through an atonement. And atonement has to be your kinsman redeemer. It has to be someone that stands in your place, that is worthy. See, because you feel of leaven. See, listen. That's why, here's the paradox, right? Yahuwah had them put out the leaven out of their house and out of their bread, right? Or the bread that was leavened. Why? Right? Because they could not move the leaven out of their hearts because their hearts were wicked. They were sinners. They were sinful, right? They would always be sinful and sinners, right? But Yahuwah had to set a precedence. He had to establish this Torah. He had to take a people who he had chosen and called and bring them through a process. And those who identified with this process in Emunah could experience this change of heart. In Yahusha Mashiach's peace. See, Yahusha Mashiach's peace is eternal. Everybody that's born again is experiencing his peace. Everybody that's born again and receive his witness has just entered into his peace. And it came to pass when the king heard the word of the book of the Torah that he rent his clothes. He realized how far, how diabolical, how wicked their people had slipped. There had to be a pivot. There had to be a change in direction. And the king commanded Chilqiyahu the priest and MELEKIYM the son of Shaphan and Ahor the son of Melekiyah, and Shaphan the scribe, and Adayahu, a servant of the king, saying, Go ye inquire of Yahuwah for me, and for the people, and for all Yahusha, concerning the words of this book that is found. Listen, our people have got so far from Torah that they needed to inquire of Yahuwah of the book. It's people that is called by his name. These people could not even keep Pecach. Listen. Go ye and inquire of Yahuwah for me, for the people, and for all Yahusha concerning the words of this book that is found, for great is the wrath of Yahuwah that is kindled against us. You need to go and find somebody. See, that's the sad part, right? The priest. Yahuwah's tribe that's responsible for the service of Yahuwah, right? That stood in the gap for the people of Yahuwah. Didn't even know the content of the book. See Yahusha, listen. See Yahusha, listen. Your people didn't know the content of the book. They had to make inquiries of Yahuwah. See, there's so many anti-Mashiachs. So many things pulling us in different directions. But there is a people. There is a Josiah. That seeks sincere repentance. That want to enter into rest and come out of judgment. Want to experience Yahuwah's favor and not his wrath. That is kindled against us because our fathers have not hearkened unto the word of this book to do concerning that was written concerning us. They did not do. They did not just do Pecach. They didn't do any of it. Yet, Yahuwah still loved Jacob. He made a promise to Avraham. Yitzhak. And Chilqiyahu the priest, and MELEKIYM, and Achor, and Shaphan, and Ashan went unto Yediydah the prophetess. Ain't nothing like a prophetess that's still before you. the wife of Shilem, the son of Tevach, the son of Helasher, keeper of the wardrobe. Now she dwelt in Jerusalem in college, and they communed with her. And she said unto them, Thus saith Yahuwah, the Elul of Yasharal, Tell the man that sent you to me, Thus saith Yahuwah, Behold, I will bring evil upon this place and upon the inhabitants thereof, even all the words of the book which the king of Yehudah hath read. Because they have forsaken me and have burned incense unto other else. That they might provoke me to anger with all the works of their hands. Therefore my wrath shall be kindled against this place, and shall not be quenched. Right? But the king of Yehudah, which sent you to inquire of Yahuwah, thus ye shall say to him, Thus saith Yahuwah, Elul of Yasharal, as touching the word which thou hast heard, because thine heart was tender, and thou hast humbled thyself before Yahuwah, when thou heardest what I spake against this place and against the inhabitants thereof, that they shall become a desolation and a curse, and hast rent thy clothes and wept before me, I also have heard thee, saith Yahuwah. Right? Behold, therefore, I will gather thee unto thy fathers, and thou shalt be gathered into the grave in peace, and thine eyes shall not see all the evil which I will bring upon this place. Right? And they brought the king again the word. So listen. Yahuwah was going to bring judgment. It had to come. He provoked the rain. But listen. Josiah, right? Josiah, in that 23rd chapter. And the king said, and they gathered unto all the elders of Yehudah and in Jerusalem, and the king went up into the house of Yahuwah, and all the men of Yehudah and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem with him, and the priests and the prophets, and all the people, both small and great. And he read in their ears the Torah of the book of the covenant, which was found in the house of Yahuwah. To bringing them forth, making them accountable as a king. And the king stood by a pillar and made a covenant before Yahuwah to walk after Yahuwah and to keep his commandments and his testimonies and his statutes with all their hearts and all their souls, to perform the word of the covenant that was written in the book. And all the people stood to the covenant. King had all of this stuff taken down. The groves. He did all of those things, right? Did all of them, right? And then, right, in that 21st chapter, that 23rd chapter, that 21st verse, and the king commanded all the people, saying, keep Pecach unto Yahuwah your Elul, as it is written in the book of the covenant. Right? Surely there has not holden such a Passover from the days of the judges. Days of judges. Before the days of kings. Surely there was not holden such a Passover from the days of the judges that judged Israel, nor in all the days of the kings of Yasharal, nor of the kings of Yahudah. See. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it misconstrued. Right? This Pecach that pointed to a greater cannot be a saving grace for you apart from you receiving the Pecach of Yahusha Mashiach. We turn back to Torah. We keeping the Pecach. Yeah, okay. How'd you accomplish that? How do you accomplish that? Now, if you ain't in Hamashiach, you under strong delusion, straight delusion, strong delusion. If you think you gonna keep Pecach apart from Hamashiach, you are under a strong delusion, right? You do not understand Torah. You do not understand the requirements of Torah. You do not understand. And if you in Hamashiach Yahusha, Pecach is fulfilled in you. See, for you to remember Mitzrayim is historical. You to remember Yahusha HaMashiach is life-changing. You better hear the word of Yahuwah. If you are receiving Pecach and Yahusha HaMashiach's witness, then you are experiencing a life-changing event. But if you just remembering Pecach and Mitzrayim for the sake of remembering that and trying to bring back its remembrance and the resemblances of it, you ain't gonna make it. See, because it doesn't matter how much cheese you take out of your house. It doesn't matter how much of the bread that you remove. It remembers. It matters. You receiving the sinless lamb. The unleavened bread of Yahusha HaMashiach. The bread of life. He says, surely there was not holden such a Passover, a Pecach, from the days of the judges that judged Israel, nor all the days of the kings of Israel, nor of the kings of Yahudah. You know, right? For them to remember Passover, right? They would have to hold true to Torah. But they left the else of the other gods. They had that sin-conscious nature, that propensity to go a-whoring. That lack of restraint that comes in Yahusha HaMashiach's Pecach. This Pecach of Yahusha HaMashiach is completion, it's fulfillment. It's remembrance. See, as often as you remember Yahusha HaMashiach, as often as you keep Pecach, you remember Yeshua. You remember what it means. See, because he's not in just the fact that he died, because he had to die, but that he conquered death. Yahusha is that lamb that caused the blood to be smeared on your temple, the blood to be on your doorpost. But in the 18th year of King Josiah, this Passover was holden. So in the 18th year of Josiah's kingdom, this 26-year-old king of Israel ordered Pecach. And no doubt continued until his death. See, because Yahuwah has already established, right, by the prophetess that he had promised to keep Josiah, and that he would pass to his fathers, because he was obedient unto Torah, and Torah required Pecach. Torah required atonement. Tabernacles. Sickle. You gotta understand. The original Pecach was designed to pave the way. What types? Removing the leaven. Eating unleavened bread. Removing and repenting of your sins, and receiving Yahusha, the bread of life. eating of his flesh. Not literally, but the lamb. Participating in a supper with specific parameters. But the attention has shifted to his sacrifice. See, it's not enough that he died, but that he rose. But in the 18th year of King Josiah, this Passover, this Pecach was holding to Yahuwah in Jerusalem. Moreover, the workers of familiar ruachs, wizards, and the images and of idols and of abominations that were spied in the land of Yehudah and Jerusalem, did Josiah put away. He cleaned the land from idolatry and from wizards and witches and warlocks, those who operated in familiar spirits, and tarot card readers, those astrologists, that he might perform the word of the Torah, which were written in the book that Chilqiyahu the priest found in the house of Yahuwah. He is a young man who, as the scripture has declared, and he did that right in the sight of Yahuwah. And walked in all the ways of Dawid his father. He kept the Torah. Well, he kept the Torah. He kept atonement. He kept Sukkot. He obeyed the Torah. Somebody said, well, then that means you can keep the Torah. Yeah, but they kept atonement. The fact that he kept Torah and he kept Pecach meant that he kept atonement. So the provision that was necessary for him to be covered was there. And the people to cover was there. They had the priest that could begin to perform the service that they were designated to perform. They had the priest. They had the high priest. He just didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know what was required of him. He was lost in translation. Literally, it was lost because they strayed so far away from it, they didn't even know what it was. I don't stray so far away from the Torah, and you're a priest, and you didn't know what you had. Yahuwah had to do something greater in our hearts. See, because if Yahusha became that Pecach lamb, right? Let's do this. Let's go to Yahuwah. Yahuwah, the first chapter. Right? Let's look at Yahuwah, the first chapter, 29th verse. The next day, Yahuwah sees Yahusha coming. Right. Unto him, and saith, behold, the Lamb of Elua. Behold, the Lamb of Yahuwah that taketh away the sins of the world. Behold, the Lamb, the Pecach. You know. The Lamb was selected on the 10th day. Waited 3 days. And on the 4th day, was sacrificed. Right? Yahusha, the Lamb of Yahuwah, that taketh away the sins of the world, was established in his public ministry. 3 years later, he was offered up as a Pecach sacrifice. So Yahusha always knew. Yahusha knew when his hour had come. He knew that he had to be offered up on Pecach. He knew that he had to be offered up on Pecach. He knew he had 3 years. All things must be fulfilled. Everything that Yahuwah has designed to bring forth revelation, it has to occur. Yahuwah says, behold the Lamb of Elua that taketh away the sins of the world. He speaks to atonement. He speaks to Yeshua deliverance. See, our people was in captivity. We were under the dominion and the rulership of Rome. We had an Edomite as our king. Our high priests were political puppets. They cared nothing about Torah. The Lamb of Yahuwah, Yahusha, was that Pecach lamb that brought deliverance from bondage forever. It is only in disobedience that we find our way back into bondage. Who Yahusha sets free, makes free, is free indeed. The next day, Yahuwah seeth Yahusha. Slain. Lamb that taketh away the sins of the world. Listen. Only those who receive the witness to have been born again of the water in the Ruach HaKodesh has their sins taken away. You putting leaven out your house. And you telling yourself that you need to put away the leaven in your life. Without Yahusha Mashiach. Good luck with that. Because you still got to understand there has to be a sacrifice. Even an atonement, there has to be a sacrifice. There has to be an offering. There has to be a sinless offering. You got to have a sinless offering. You have to come by way of Yahusha HaMashiach. You have to let Yahuwah do surgery on your heart through the atoning blood of Yahusha. Behold the Lamb of Yahuwah that taketh away the sins of the world. This is he of whom I said, you go down to first chapter 30 verse, right? Said, after me cometh a man which is preferred before me, for he was before me. He was before me because he was the Word in the beginning. He was the Word seed spoken into Mary. He was brought from the Shamaim to the Eretz. He says, and I knew him not, but that he should be manifested to Yasharal. Made known, widely understood, to be brought to the attention of Israel. Therefore am I come baptizing with water. See, this process is necessary. This washing, this cleansing. It's necessary. Let's go on. Let's look at Yahuwah. 13th chapter. Pecach. He says, now before the feast of Pecach, when Yahusha knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of the world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them until the end. He loved his own. He loved everybody. He loves everybody. You know, you listen to T.D. Jakes. The Lord loves everybody with his homosexual self. Oh, excuse me. Here's G4202. G4202. Right? Pornonia. Right? Anybody rolling with P. Diddy is pornonia. Oh, I just went over there on his birthday just to show my support. Yeah, whatever. Listen, if truth be told, see, and this thing, all of P. Diddy's history is blowing up in his face right now. Look, every party P. Diddy has ever had has been a place where there was a special place designated for that. P. Diddy had his own upper room. Listen, this is widely declared. So, the hour had come. Now, therefore, before the feast of Pecach, when Yahusha knew his hour had come, he should depart out of the world unto the Father, having loved his own. He loves those the Father has given him. He loves his own. He loves Yahusha and Yahudah. Having loved his own. Right, now let's look at that, right? Because that's a reference to Yahusha, right? That Greek word.
Strong's G 2398. Idios.
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 Right? Idios. Pertaining to oneself, right? To his own. His one's own, belonging to oneself. Now this is a reference to Yahusha and Yehudah. Right? Because it also says in the scriptures, and he came to his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him of his own, them gave he power to be sons and daughters of Yahuwah. So Yahuwah loved his own. He came to his own. He came to his own. He loved them until the end. Until the end. The end? The end of his time in the Eretz. Yahusha, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he was come from Alua and went to Alua. So you already know. In that third year, as Yahusha was approaching Pecach, he knew that his time was coming close. He had to get all his lessons in. He had to reveal to them everything that they needed to know in Torah. He said, listen. And Yahusha, and he rises from supper, or Pecach, the Pecach meal. Right? And laid aside his garments and laid aside his garments and took a towel and girded himself. Right? And after poured water into a basin and began to wash. The disciples' feet. And to wipe with the towel which he had girded himself. Took off his clothes. Outer clothes, took a towel, got on his knees, and washed his disciples' feet. Right, which was a part of the high priest, the priest's duty. right? To wash the priest's feet. Wash their hands and their feet. To wash their hands and their feet, right? Hands are washed. See their feet, like that because it was a dusty, dirty, he had to wash. Yahusha did it himself. And an act of humility. Helping them to understand this, you priest. You are the Torah givers. But see, you ain't going to be able to do this until the sacrifice is complete. You ain't going to experience the deliverance from slavery until the sacrifice is complete. You have to be born again of the water and the Ruach-HaKodesh. You have to understand how this atone, how this Pecach, this offering, this Pecach is going to bring you what you need to be able to serve in the kingdom. The kingdom's come. It's going to suffer violence. This witness is going to suffer violence. And then come he to Simon Peter, and Peter said unto him, Adonai, doest thou wash my feet? Yahusha answered and said unto him, What I do thou knowest not now. You don't understand why I'm doing this now. See, because you got your own idea of this whole washing thing. Thou knowest not, but thou shalt know hereafter. You're going to know. Because, once I'm resurrected and I appear, and once I give you your Ruach-HaKodesh, you going to know. You receive this witness. You're going to know. You born of the water and the Ruach-HaKodesh, you're going to know. Peter said unto him, Thou wilt never wash my feet. I won't let you clean my feet. If you don't let me clean your feet. That which is closest to the ground, dirt, the filth. If you won't let me clean your feet, you don't have no parts of me. Because you got to understand that this cleansing is a type of what's going to occur for you. You have to receive this, because if you don't receive this, you're not receiving me. And if you don't receive me, you don't receive Yeshua. he says, thou shalt have no part in me, right? Simon Peter said unto him, Yahuwah, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. So my hands and my head, you. Right? He says, Yahusha said unto him, he that is washed needeth not wash. He that is washed needeth not save to wash. Feet. No. Yahusha said unto him, he that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet, but is cleaned every whit, and ye are cleansed, but not all. Not all y'all clean. Of course, he was referring to Judas. This piece is an important remembrance. See, this piece out brings Yeshua. It brings us out of the house of bondage. We consume the unleavened bread. We have our feet cleansed. We drink the blood of the grape. For our sins. Pecach is greater than our Pecach from Mitzrayim that pointed the way. You got to understand this witness. You got to understand this witness. First Corinthians, the 11th chapter, 23rd verse. For I have received, this is Shaul speaking now, to the church of Corinth. Now, we should probably go up, right? To well, maybe not. There was the need to address conduct in the assemblies at Corinth. Corinth was wide open. You had a people that were just wide open. That had been born again. But they come from a history, a background, a way of doing things, right? That 18th verse of that second of 1 Corinthians 11 chapter, it says, for first of all, when ye come together in the assembly, I hear that there are divisions among you, and I partly believe it. Yeah, you got stuff going on in the assemblies. You know, divisions, cliques. For there must be also heresies among you, that they which are approved may be made manifested among you. And that's just crazy stuff going on over there. There's false teachings, right? Heresies among you. That they which are approved may be manifested among you. So you got people that are teaching heresy and being made approved. When you come together, therefore, into one place, is not to meet or to eat Adonai's supper. You don't come together. He says, listen, for when ye come together to fellowship, therefore into one place, is this not to eat Yahuah's supper? Or is not to eat Yahuah's supper, right? For in eating everyone taketh before his own supper, right? And one is hungry and another is drunken. What have ye not houses to eat? Right, so, you have these people who were coming together bringing food and eating it as Yahuah's supper. And they're eating it with no regards for anybody around them. You have food to eat, but your neighbor, whoever else is in this family, don't have any. And then you got some people that is just drinking to the point of intoxication in the assemblies. He said, listen. He says, for in eating everyone taketh before his own supper, right? And one is hungry and another is drunken. What? Have ye not houses to eat and to drink? I understand, right? Or despise you the assembly of Yahuah, right? Because the conduct, right, is not in purpose to what Yahusha's supper is. Right? He says, or despise ye the assembly of Yahuah, and shame them that have not. Heresies. Divisions. You got people that have, you got the people that have not. The people that have are all right, feeling good and comfortable, bringing in to eat and eating in the assembly, and there's people that don't have no food to eat, but you're going to eat right in front of them like it's all good, and drink right in front of them. It's all good. With no regards to their needs. Right? He said, what? Have ye not houses to eat and to drink in? Or despise ye the assembly of Yahuah, and shame them that have not? What shall I say to you? Shall I praise you in this? I praise you not. Now he gonna break down Pecach. Yahusha's Pecach. Yahusha's Pecach is Yah's Pecach. For I have received, because this is how it's supposed to be done. If you're going to remember Yahusha's Pecach, this is how it's done. He says, for I have received of Adonai that which I delivered unto you. I told you what I've received, and I delivered it unto you. That Adonai Yahusha, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. Right? And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body which was broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. So the bread was spread amongst the disciples. Yahusha himself broke it off and made sure that they all had to eat of this unleavened bread, right? He says, and the same manner, after the same manner, he also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, this cup is the renewed covenant in my blood, or the blood of the grape. This ye do as often as ye drink in remembrance of me. So the objective is to break off the bread to everybody. Everybody drinks of the wine. You just don't drink yourself to the point in which you drunkard, and everybody that don't have got to watch you celebrate a meal. These Gentiles, they did. The objective is to understand and have an appreciation for Yahusha's sacrifice as the Lamb of Yahuwah that takes away the sins of the world. Yahuwah's sacrifice as that Pecach that caused you to be made free from this bondage of sin and death. See, this Pecach is greater. The Pecach of the original required obedience. The Pecach of Yahusha HaMashiach requires faith and emunah in the witness of Yahusha HaMashiach and obedience. He said, listen, for as often as ye eat this bread and drink of this cup, you show Yahuwah's death till he comes. You show the commitment to Yahusha's witness until he comes. See, all the feasts tied together. Yahusha HaMashiach. The restoration of a kingdom. A restoring of a people. We are to understand and remember what our fathers went through. Right? These things were provided to us for our learning. We are supposed to look at, get clarity and implement. Yahusha's atonement, Yahusha's Pecach, all of Yahuah's feast point to Yahusha, his Pecach. Man of Yah, woman of Yah. And no way suggesting that the original Pecach was without purpose, because Yahuah demanded us to keep it. But we can't keep it. So many things that will prevent us from keeping it. First and foremost, an atonement. Without Yahushua Mashiach's atonement. And when we remember this Pecach, we have to understand its fulfillment, its completion. See, it's in a Mashiach Yahusha. It's in a Mashiach Yahusha. The reality of what it is only understood in Yahushua Mashiach. It's more than just leaven powder in dough and in leash, in dough rising in bread with leaven. It's about the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Being born again of the water, Ruach HaKodesh. And listen, even in this witness, right? Your repentance from sin removes the leaven. See, you can keep the Pecach in Yahusha's witness because you don't continue in sin. See, this whole idea that, we have to work to keep the leaven out. That's works. If we become born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh, right? Yahuwah's Ruach is in us, right? Now, if we sin, we have an advocate with the Father. We can have that sin cleansed and purged because we've come under this atonement, right? But it's not our nature. It's not who we are. See, because the temple, the house that Yahuwah wants, is our house. This house. This tabernacle. He wants this tabernacle purged from sin. He don't care about no leaven and no bread when it comes to Yahusha Mashiach's witness in you. If ye be a Mashiach, right? If you be a Mashiach, you become heirs. You become his seed. You become Yahuwah's seed. Right? And if you sin, you repent. There's no leaven. If you sin and repent, there's no leaven. But if you continue and perpetually sin, you're not in his witness. You have not been born again. If you can continue to do the things that you did before, you ain't born again. If you can continue to do the things that you have always done, you're not born again. If you can live in sin, then you're not born again. You're not his. You're a child of Hasatan. You belong to him. See, this Pecach of this renewed covenant, right? It takes you from the bondage of sin and brings you into the kingdom of his dear son. You now have Yahuwah's spirit. And you know when Hasatan, or when the evil Ruach sends something to you, right? You know it's from an evil Ruach because your consciousness is righteous now. You are alive. You don't willfully choose to do a thing that you know is wrong. See, this is what Yahuwah was trying to literally get you to understand in the original Pecach. You had to put away the sin. But you know what? They did it every year symbolically because they really couldn't do it in their hearts. I mean, they really didn't have a heart to do it. They had this sin-conscious drive. Yahuwah had to make an atonement for them. They were his people. He had to atone for them every year. We had to remember Pecach every year. Yahusha's Pecach is greater. That's it, man, of y'all, woman of y'all. Yahusha. Pecach, it's greater. Abba Yahuwah, in the name of Yahusha Mashiach, I give you praise for your word. The word you've given me, I've given them, and I pray that in Emunah they would receive it. Abba Yahuwah, you have given them everything they need in the Pecach of Yahusha. You set them free from bondage. You have quickened them, made them alive. In Hamashiach Yahusha. Yahuwah, they've eaten of the unleavened bread, that sinless lamb, Yahusha. Abba Yahuwah, they've drinking of the blood of the grape, the wine. I pray that those that you have chosen would hear this word. This word would come alive in them, and that they would be established in this word. Abba Yahuwah, I pray that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart would be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuwah, I do this for you, and I do this for your people that you have chosen. In the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. Hallelujah. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, called to greatness. Listen, woman of Yahuwah, beautifully and wonderfully made today, Yahuwah's favorite. Receive the witness. Be born again of the water and Ruach HaKodesh. This is the Pecach of Yahusha. This is the Pecach of Yahusha. This is the Pecach of Yahusha. With that I say, shalom, 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 and be blessed.
Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.